So 5, 4, 3, 2.
You're starting.
No, I said you're starting.
Oh, shit. Me?
No, you start.
Yeah, you start.
I've always did like you best.
Well, I'm
All right.
Holi-DAZED. Come
Yeah,
on.
you are,
I'm Holi-DAZED. And
That
was-
so we
that was
don't know who
priceless.
to start.
Yeah.
Hey,
That was priceless.
so we just keep rolling with this.
Welcome to the Outliers Inn, produced by the Operational Excellence Society and sponsored by Zonatech Consulting Group International, with your hosts, Joseph Paris and David Schneider.
Hey, it is the holidays. So welcome everybody to the Outliers Inn, where we are Holi-DAZED. I'm Mule, and my partner over here is JP. And we were confused and dazed and confused on who was supposed to start this whole thing today. I mean, that's how crazy the holidays get.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a crazy few weeks from Thanksgiving, to this moment. I don't know how you've been, but man, I've had a traveling bone this year. I made 1K status on United. I mean, and then some. Thanksgiving was between my parents and all the fun and excitement that has with respect to Thanksgiving, and then right afterwards I had to fight the horde on Thanksgiving Sunday to fly out to my client in Denver. Yeah,
That's
out of Newark.
like, you know better than to do that.
Yeah,
Come on. That's an amateur move all the way through, dude.
I will say one thing: if you are 1K, it makes it a lot easier.
Oh,
right?
It does. I won't argue with you on that, but it is still a punishment I will not put myself through. I just won't. I've done it. I've done it, been there, done it. Don't want to have that pleasure again. Thank you.
It really was pretty good. I mean, the check-in process, of course, 1K check-in at Newark is like, no lines, no waiting. Then I had to go through security. And again, it's the, premier security. Even I think it's actually even faster than pre-check, because everybody's got pre-check now. So that line's pretty darn long. Security was a breeze. Hung out at the new what do you call it? New lounge that they have there at the Terminal C. And then I finished it off at my favorite restaurant, Saison, and had my French dip, and off I went. So yeah, it was not bad. A lot easier than I thought it was going to be. But but that was my last trip.
I've practiced now a moratorium on business travel happening after the 15th of November. And so unless it's just a day out and day back, I don't do any real air travel. I'll drive car. I'll go visit clients that are close and do stuff like that. But now I won't subject myself to air travel voluntarily. It's got to be, an emergency for me to get on an airplane during that time period. It's just, I've had a lot of pleasant memories, being very sarcastic.
I'm going to knock on some wood here. I had a lot of trips this year. I had no negative experiences. Okay. Sometimes the flight was a little bit late. Okay, maybe up to an hour, but it was always on the last leg. So, that means just have another hour at the bar, right? So that's not even a bad thing necessarily. But it's just been crazy.
It all depends. You're flying United. I've been flying United. I've been 1K now for 3 years running. And 1K makes things a lot more pleasant. You get upgraded a lot more if you understand how to play the game and the plus points and all the rest of that fun. And there's a lot of things that it definitely makes it to where you have less hanging around time on airport grounds if the airport has good TSA. There's airports that just I avoid having to fly in or out as a terminal. It's like Denver. I don't like transferring through Denver, no problem. Changing gates in Denver, no problem. Actually renting a car and going and coming back into Denver, no thank you. That's such a pain in the ass.
You almost need a rental car to get to the rental car.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
it's crazy. I don't have a problem with security at Denver because they actually do have a premier line.
Granted,
okay?
it's gotten
Yeah,
better. It's
so-
gotten better. The last time I had to go through security at Denver, I had 6 high school robotics kids with me and herding them through, and it was regular TSA line and all the rest of that fun stuff. No,
Yeah,
that was not pleasant, but
not fun.
yeah, so even though I have the moratorium on travel, this has been a fun couple of weeks. I mean, my wife and daughter are just now being able to venture out and go to work and go to school after being sick for 2 weeks and housebound with COVID. And it was like, okay, they had a couple of rough days, and then the rest of the time it was just, they were stir crazy.
Yeah,
you know, starting to go cabin nuts and that fun. And then I've got clients who they're in the e-com business, and even though they were prepped or as prepped as they could be, they just couldn't put enough orders through their systems. And in both cases, it was, we don't have enough labor.
Yeah. Well, I've been stressing
but not enough labor.
Yeah, I've been stressing the Amazon Germany the last couple of days because I get back and I'm just like I can't go shopping. I'm going to go to the Christmas markets. Christmas markets are cool. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I'll just be hanging out, having some Glühwein, a bratwurst, enjoying the sights and the warmth and all that great stuff. But the thought of just going to a store and shop and shit like that is just like, no, it's but guys don't shop, guys buy. You know what I mean? We we don't, we're not the gatherers, we're the hunters. And that's how I ride.
Well, that's an interesting way to put it.
That is. And hearing Don speak up, I was going to say, Don, are you a hunter or a gatherer or a maker?
Wow. That's I kind of a little bit of all, because I like to shop every now and then. It depends on what it is. You go to the tool department in Sears and it's like, I'm all over it, Yeah. But, or Harbor Freight's one of my favorites.
I was going to say, where do you find a Sears, Don? I mean, when was the last time?
Well, yeah, I know it. Well, I'm using an old line off of Home Improvement. So,
okay.
But and I normally go out and I just, there's times I know what I want. I walk in and I get it. And there's other times it's like, I just don't know. So I'll just go meander around aimlessly. And then it's like, oh, wow. Yeah, that's it right there. I'll get that.
Yeah. There's a store that opened up locally here, Rockler, which is all about fine woodworking tools and power tools. And you want a router bit, that's where you go. You want to have a selection of different router tables. Oh yeah, they have 4 to show you. Yeah. And these very helpful guys who I would say are older guys, but I'm looking at them and a couple of them are close to my age. They're only a few years older than I am. And very helpful and very knowledgeable about the stuff. And it's like, oh yeah, they're in their ultimate toy bin. This is a toy bin for them. And I go into that store and it's, unless there's a specific thing that I'm going in for, I don't go in because I know I'll walk out spending an ungodly amount of money. It's going to happen.
Well, I had my 60th birthday on December 2nd. All right.
Happy birthday.
Well, thank you. And of course, I'm at my client's site there in Denver, all right, the whole week, and not even leaving on Friday, which was the 2nd. I'm leaving on Saturday, the 3rd. So it's kind of like I'm kind of bummed, man. I made it to the 6th floor. Don, you know how it is, and
Oh, yeah.
And so I decided to take my client, the executive team of my client, out to Top Golf, okay, on me. All right. And so there was 8 of us. We rented 2 bays for a couple of hours, had a great old time. It was colder than freaking cold.
Mhm.
But they were heated, and I ended up buying a Top Golf hoodie because it was pretty chilly out
Cold.
there. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay,
But we had a great time.
you're in Denver from the state of September until probably about April. The weather is going to range anywhere from -20 without wind chill and 2 feet worth of snow to 70 some odd degrees whenever it wants.
Yeah,
In between that time span. Yeah.
I experienced that. In fact, on the Tuesday I was there, it snowed, and snow fell into the back seat of my car as I put my computer in there. And when I left after work Tuesday, the snow was still there. And when I got into the car the next morning, Wednesday morning, the snow was still there. It had not melted for like 2 days inside my car. And then we went golfing. That was a lot of fun. And then I went out to an Italian restaurant that's very, very fine, a very good Italian restaurant, and had some wine and a Manhattan. Then on Saturday, I got to tell you, there was Saturday, I'm flying back through Newark, and I'm at the lounge, and then I go to my favorite restaurant again, and they're like, "Oh, what's going on?" Blah blah blah, because the whole staff always talks to me. And I said I was kind of bummed out because I spent my birthday, on site. And next thing I know, they're like, singing to me happy birthday. They're bringing out a little cake and pastries, and there was 2 women there from Poland, and they started singing happy birthday in Polish, and it was just like, it was really, really cool. But then I got home, and we're back to Frankfurt there, and now I got to tell you guys, I got so much freaking work, it's not even funny. And I've got it all lined up for next year too. I come home or to Frankfurt, and this company out of South Africa wants me to go down there for the end of January for a week, and as a start of a project. And so it's like, South Africa, I love South Africa. If I were to die to go to heaven, it would look like South Africa. In fact, our backgrounds for the Outliers Inn were actually taken in South Africa some years back. And I'm going to do some bundu bashing with some friends, and it looks like I'm going to go to Zimbabwe and on the Zambezi as an excursion after my engagement. So I'm looking forward to that.
Dan took Dominic and I out to the Chop the other night, Wednesday, for our birthdays.
Yeah,
that was
awesome.
that was good. That was real awesome.
Good. That's awesome. So but the holiday seasons is so challenging sometimes. It's like, but this goes way back to antiquity. All right. I mean, especially when you're traveling. And it says right there in the Bible that Mary drove Joseph's ass all the way to Bethlehem. You know what I mean?
Right through Allentown.
Right through Allentown.
I took US 22, went right through Allentown, eastbound on 22, right into Bethlehem.
Yeah. So you guys, are you in the holidays? How many beers do you got on tap there, Don?
You know what? We only have, I think on tap right now, we only have 1, 2. I think we got 2. That's
Just 2?
Is
it because of the Creaser's dead, or what's the?
That's kind of put a damper on things, but we still have, I mean, I can bump capacity up. We have the one refrigerator here that's got 1 tap on it, and we got the other one out in the back that we have 3 on, and I can put a 4th one on that. Plus I can add another one in here, so we can actually put 6 on. So it's not really a huge problem. It's just a lot of it's been, I've been busy as all can be.
Yeah.
So just trying to get caught up with stuff. I don't think it's going to happen, but yeah, we've kind of reserved this month out for, we're going to do high gravities. We have a certain selection that we're putting together, and I can't talk about it because I don't want anybody else getting this idea, but we're going to put together a string of 4 beers in a pack. And this will be our high gravity beers, and it's got a specific name to it. I'll tell you when we're off the air.
Okay.
But it's really pretty interesting. But we reserve that for this month.
All right. If you need a trademark for it, getting a trademark for those names is pretty easy. I'll when you divulge the name, I'll tell you how to get the trademark. But
Okay.
It only costs a couple of $100 for the filing fee. You don't need a lawyer or anything like that. In fact, that's how I got the Outliers Inn trademarked. It's a registered trademark. And it was simple stuff. I mean, you have, paperwork and shit like that, but yeah, it's pretty simple stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'll be interested in that because I kind of want to lock this in. It's an interesting concept. It can
Cool.
roll either way,
Yeah. So
Otherwise, work has been getting in the way of some of your other stuff done, huh?
Oh yeah. Well, I'm trying to get, we've got this project that we've been start, stop. And then they got a hold of me in September, and they says, we got to do this. And I'm like, great. Okay. So we got to do this now. Now, this is after I've already stopped. I've already, filed away a bunch of stuff. I haven't been doing anything with it. Now we got to start again. So now I'm back at it, and I'm redoing everything and trying to get everything done. I got stuff I got to get the machine shop by like next week. And we've got all sorts of companies that you're just knocking the door down. They want to get this stuff. There's only one other competitor out there, and they don't even want to deal with them. So
Yeah.
we're in the driver's seat if we can get this thing done. So I've got a crap ton of work I got to get done by the end of the year.
well, you only have a couple of weeks, so no pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. Yeah, I can handle it, I'm sure. We'll get it one way or the other.
Yeah, I'm getting ready for the onslaught of what will happen. It's not as much holidays as much as it is getting prepped for robotic season, which will end up starting that first September or that first Saturday of the year's kickoff for the robotics competition. And so we've been working with the kids past couple of weeks on planning for what they're going to do during build season, and actually, thinking about scheduling activities before.
Right.
And getting that engaged, and which is a shocking concept in some ways for high school kids, but they're taking the coaching well. And in fact, what we've learned is now this is like 4 years of having those conversations with them between Thanksgiving and mid-December. And what are the plans? What's build season going to look like? Shaping it up. And every year we have the same conversation, and every year they do a certain amount of it. But what we've learned is that successive generations are now, even though we had COVID in the middle of it, we're seeing one group build on what the past groups have done. And we lost a little bit of that momentum with COVID, but it looks like that momentum's come back, hoping we're going like this.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
So what do we got going between now and the end of the year? I mean, other than Don reinventing everything that he's got to do, I mean, what,
Well, this is one thing that's great about a CAD program, is because I can sit here, and when I don't like something, I just change it. So yeah, I get so many reiterations built up and stuff, and it's like, that's good. I don't like it. I want to go back to this other one.
So what not traveling allows me to do is be able to order and receive materials that I'm going to end up working with over the next quarter. And so it was doing a lot of preliminary design work for projects that are in the shop or are going to be in the shop, and order the material up for it. And then once the material gets in, then clean out an area, stow the material,
right,
do that stuff. So it's been a lot of that, and then supporting clients remotely. And, I've been bending the e-commerce ear pretty strongly myself, though there's a little bit of shopping that I'll end up doing this afternoon, and a little bit of shopping I'll do next week for things that, I'm not going to try to buy that online. I'm going to find, pick it out. But yeah, it's hard to get the progress through a lot of operations right now because they are tight staffed.
Yeah. So
And
I'm going
that's
to
showing up.
I'm going to be visiting some Christmas markets. There's one in Wiesbaden, which is about 20 minutes from where I am. And I found a cigar, and it was called Scotch and Soda in Wiesbaden. And I'm not kidding you, they must have had 400 scotches in the place. All right. I mean, just from, in fact, the scotches that I targeted were from this little tiny region called Campbell. And you hardly see a scotch from Campbell because not that many of them. You hear the Highlands and the Outliers and etc., but never from Campbell. So I had a couple of Campbells, and it's right next to the Christmas market, so I'm going to be targeting that, I think, this weekend. And one of our regulars, Stefan, remember, he's almost always on board here. Well, he's one of the people that are taking a bridge holiday because of Immaculate Conception Day, not to be confused with Immaculate Reception for you football fans. But he's off. But he and I on Monday the 19th are going to get together in Strasbourg and hit the Christmas market there, he and I, and have a lunch and just, do a guy day, days out. And that'll be a lot of fun. So, and that'll take me towards the end of the year, and got a lot of end of year planning that I have to do, and end of year stuff that I usually do the last week of December, first week of January. But the first week of January, I'm going to be back out there again in Denver for 2 weeks. So I got to get all the first week of January shit done last week of December.
Yeah. That's one of the challenges of traveling a great deal, on client work is that, when you are home, things kind of pile up and you don't have a lot of spare time to be able to deal with stuff.
Right.
That's why, I am glad that I have my little moratoriums that I can plan around. Like, after Thanksgiving, I'm not going to go out unless it's absolutely necessary, because it allows me to be able to get caught up on some of that stuff when I've been on the road so often.
Yeah. I usually am able to accomplish it, especially Denver. Denver's a weird site. I find myself getting up at like 4:30 in the morning and being like wide awake. So what I do is I do work before I go to work instead of after I come out, and I can't even have breakfast because breakfast doesn't even start until 6. So it's like, might as well, do up some, book work, do some of the emails, and, do what I have to do. So I don't get the crunch when I get, back to a home.
When I was doing all of the, I was extensively traveling to Salt Lake City, Q3, Q4, 2020, and then all through 2021. I was, mountain time, and, I'm used to East Coast. I kept my body on East Coast time.
Yeah.
And would get up, be ready. I did classes, I did meetings, I did all sorts of stuff with clients and took care of stuff before I started working with the client there on site. And it led to very long days, but yeah, it was weird that way. And when I go out there, I still do that. I stay on East Coast time.
Yeah. I find I'm going to sleep at like 8 o'clock at night, 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. I'm getting up at 4, whatever. It doesn't really bother me. I thought it would, but then I found that it was actually working out pretty cool for me.
Well, but I've been also told that's something that comes with the age. Once you turn 60, it turns that way.
Oh, shut up.
Jesus.
There might be some. I do that.
Says the guy who's 61 himself. So
yeah. So there might be some truth to that, because my father, he wakes up at like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. And so when I'm at the house, like I was over Thanksgiving, I'm getting up early and he's already got the coffee made. And I got to confess, they make the shittiest coffee at my parents' house. Honest to God. I mean, it's just like I don't know what it is.
They
I
don't
know
listen to
if
these podcasts, do they?
not this long, I think, because their attention span is, fruit fly. But but they make the shittiest coffee, and I choke down the first one, and then I go out to Dunkin' Donuts and I get a real cup of coffee. I'm not a fan of Starbucks either. By the way, neither of those establishments nor my parents sponsor the show. Just so, but we're willing to talk. We're willing to talk. So, yeah. So, what else do we have between now and the end of the year, Don? You got something exciting?
I got the for fact, I just got the email in today. We got the homebrew competition we got to start working on. So that's going to be, we got to figure out what beers we're going to put into that. We'll probably do what we did last year. We'll put 6 beers into it, but we rushed through last year, and we rushed a lot of recipes and stuff like that. We were lucky we did as well as we did, but we think we can do a lot better. So we got to tune up our recipes, make sure we got everything in here that we need, all the grains and everything else, all the hops and everything, make sure we get all nice fresh stuff and start from scratch. So I think we'll do a lot better this year than we did last year, to be honest.
What are you guys doing for New Year's? Anything exciting?
Pat and I usually go to Mark and Jenny's.
Okay.
We hang out there. We, get there till midnight. Then it's like, okay, see you later. Time to go. We're tired. If we make it that far.
Yeah, well, I'm not goose hunting this year like I did last year. That was a fun time to go right before New Year's. But we'll probably, Eve and I will probably hang out and do something there around the house. But between now and then, it's going to be, I've got a machine that I've got to finish up an upgrade to back in the shop, and a lot of year-end bookkeeping and all that noise. So it's, the part of the joys of owning your own business. Sometimes you got to sit down and take care of the paperwork.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. I forgot. That's the other thing I got going. I got a project we were working on with somebody, and I can't mention who, I can't say what, but it was one of those deals where it's like they want to move their equipment over into our facility and we'll run their product for them. And I'm like, and then they said, first they came up, well, we want these machines. Now it's like, oh, we're going to add these other machines into it. And I'm like, you're kidding. So I got another one of those I got to play with here.
Yeah, you gotta have to make some real estate there at your shop.
Well, with a lot of the stuff that I have there, I don't necessarily have a problem with making real estate, because some of that stuff just needs to go. I want stuff in there that's productive. I don't want anything in there that's not productive.
Right. Reduce the clutter. Get rid of feng shui the place.
Yeah. Well, that's always hard, because as soon as I feng shui the place, somebody calls up and goes, I really wanted to buy that. And it's
you lost your chance, man.
Let me go back to the scrapyard and pull it out. Right.
Well,
I've been doing a lot of feng shui lately back in my shop, and finding, wait, why did we keep this? That's scrap. Why did we keep this? That's scrap.
Uh-huh.
Well, I just have
go
papers.
Through that.
You just have paper?
Just have papers. I
have steel, and I have aluminum.
Yeah.
So I had the pickup, the scrap pickup happen last week, and like chips, we just keep chips in 5-gallon buckets.
Yeah.
And so it was 17 buckets.
Oh, brother.
Of chips. Yeah.
Aluminum or just
aluminum?
Yes.
All aluminum. Aluminum off of the mills.
Yeah, well, that's getting a pretty good price.
Yeah, I was going to say, at least it's aluminum. It's not like steel, so it's easier to carry.
Yeah, steel kind of sucks.
Yeah, there are a couple of buckets of steel, but no, the aluminum was what was really taking up the space.
Well, New Year's here in Germany is all about the fireworks. You know, you go down to the Main River, and you swear it looks like the bridge scene at the Apocalypse Now. And
I love the
So-
smell of napalm in the morning.
Yeah, dude, you're stepping on me. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were dead. So, oh, he's real close, real close. Yeah, the bridge
Yeah,
scene
so
is kind of funky.
we got a lot of projects going in next year, so hopefully just all this stuff comes together.
Oh, I think it's almost time, right? You know, I've had this Talisker 12, by the way, Don, just so you
Yeah.
know.
I
So that's
haven't.
been good.
Oh, I
What's
picked
that?
up some. I picked up some bourbon at. There's one of these craft bourbons they had at the. They got a farmer's market here, and I just stopped in there, and I picked up some of that, and that was good. That was really good.
Good.
And I also got
was
the
it?
Woodford sitting here too.
When you say is a craft bourbon, oh, my ball just keeps on disappearing.
Yeah, I
does.
know. I've heard you had problems with your balls, Joe.
That's right. You know, it's, I don't know. It's a medical
Disappearing
condition, I think.
balls.
I'll just put
Yeah,
it in
really.
the back there. There. Now I
No, that
can
was a
look like
craft.
Russian
His
guy.
craft bourbon. They make it in it's down south of Buffalo.
Ah,
I
okay.
can't remember what town it is, but yeah, it was pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I like that Woodford. That again, another sponsor opportunity. I like that.
Yeah, really.
Woodford
Yeah, cough.
Reserve, the double barrel or double smoke barrel or
Oh,
whatever. it
the
was
double
called.
oak. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
double
double
oak.
oak's really good. I got
Yeah.
the single sitting here.
Yeah, that's
We're
good.
out of scotch, so we got to get more scotch. We're out of our stock is down, but I'm going up to New Hampshire next week, so I'm probably going to replenish.
Yeah, good. And remember, you know, I won't be there probably for a couple of months. Probably not until, I would guess at this point, not until late February, early March. So
That's all right, Joe. We'll drink without you.
Yeah. See, now there's something that when you brought up the craft bourbon, and it's a phenomena that I've been watching for a while now. You know, there was the explosion of all the craft beers, right?
Yep.
You're a brewer, and it continues to explode, and people have continued to do that. But the distilleries that have opened up,
Oh, yeah.
and you know, it's starting to pick up. It's starting to pick up momentum, but there's a couple of them that are around here in the Manassas, Virginia area that have been up and running for about 10, 12 years now.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so they've been at it long enough that when they say they have a 6 or 7 year old whiskey, it is a 6 or 7 year old whiskey. And what's been fun to watch and taste has been, you know, the progression of some of these liquors when they've gone from 5 year to 6 year to 7 year to, I'm looking forward to the 8 year next week that I'm going to get to sample. It's the same shit. It's the same alcohol. I'm just getting to taste it a year apart from each other. So looking forward to that.
Are they bottling it that way and marketing it as like this is an 8-year-old, this is a 6-year-old and stuff?
Yes, yes, they're pulling and saying this was the same batch, but here's a barrel that, you know, aged 5 years, and then we bottled it, and here's a barrel that we aged 6 years and bottled it, and here's it. And so you get this flight, and you can taste the aging of the whiskey. Everything else is the same because it came out of the same batch.
Right.
Yep.
So Cooperstown's got some boutique bourbons
Distilleries.
and
Yep.
distilleries too. Yeah. So
Yeah.
in addition to the Omegang Belgian brewer, which by the
Yep.
way is an amazing facility.
Yeah.
In fact, I think Fleetwood Mac played there. I guess they're going to be minus a
Christine McVie.
Yeah,
that's
Christine
too
McVie.
bad. That's too bad. Okay, we're getting
Yeah.
old, guys. We're getting old. Shit is
Tell me
starting to fall
about
off the truck.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, we got. Yeah, there's a lot of but along with the craft distilleries and stuff like that, what's popping up is now it's not just the straight liquor that they're marketing. They're everybody's coming up with these new drinks and stuff like that. And if you
Mhm.
remember, I remember the big thing, years ago was they came out with bubblegum vodka. It was a vodka that had, the bubble gum on it. And it's
Yeah.
progressed from there. Now they have all these different types of drinks and everything else that they have. And they're all new drinks that are coming up to use these, new spirits in. So yeah, it's a whole industry.
I got to tell you though, I still go for the classics. You know what I mean? Give me a nice bourbon Manhattan or an old fashioned. Give me a vodka martini, a little bit dirty, maybe gin and tonics. I mean, I just like the simple stuff. You get you get too complicated.
They get crazy.
Right. Right. And then
Well,
of course, like you buy this boutique, and then like people drink a quarter of it. Now you have a shelf full or 5 shelves full of 1/4 drank booze that you'll never open again.
No, not necessarily. Here's an example of that. I used to go hunting at this lodge in Nebraska, and
Hunters will drink anything you put in front
well,
of
they had, it was tied to a trucking company. So they had guests all the time. And they would always ask the guest, what kind of liquor did you want? And so they would name it, and that bottle would get bought. And if the whole bottle was consumed, okay. But bottles that weren't, they just stowed. And when they tore down the original lodge, which was like this big ranch style house, and replaced it with a, what we would consider now a guest lodge with a big, public area and then hotel style rooms down a hallway. When they replaced it with that, they built this massive bar, and that's what they stocked the bar with, was all of that liquor. And so there was such a huge variety of scotches, such a huge variety of bourbons, such a huge variety of Canadian whiskeys that they had been collecting for 25 freaking years. And so it was, and this bar, I mean, it was about 25, 30 feet wide. And the back bar, the shelving went up a good 10, 12 feet. They had a ladder that slid back and forth to be able to get to shelves. And so it was fully populated with liquor, and it was organized. And so I said, it's got to be up there. You got to have Little Brown Jug. And Little Brown Jug is McCormick's corn whiskey. It's a 3-year-old corn whiskey, and it comes in a little earthenware Little Brown Jug. Okay. And from Weston, Missouri is where the distillery is. And they were looking up there and said, no, we don't have a Little Brown Jug, but we got McCormick Gold, which is the 5-year-old version of that. You want that instead? Oh, okay. I'll have that.
No.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They had just about everything that you could imagine up there on that wall. It was, it was a fabulous place to sit there and joke about. I wonder where that whiskey bottle came from. So what's the story behind that one?
Yeah. So let me get this straight. So you were out there in Nebraska, out there whacking little animals like you were the other week, huh?
Yeah.
All those little birdies, and you were out there shooting.
Oh shit! Yes. Yeah.
Peter's going to be in touch. I got your PETA application here, by the way.
People eating tasty animals. Yes. I'm a member of People Eating Tasty Animals. Yeah. Hunting out there, they had great trap shooting, great skeet and trap shooting out there also. And so, I love loud golf, and I would spend more time playing loud golf than I would, hunting out there, though the hunts were great. But when they built that new lodge, one of the things they did is underneath the wing where all the hotel rooms were, those hotel rooms were built on this like 7 or 8 inch thick concrete floor. And then the basement underneath was a shooting range.
Oh, beautiful.
And so in the afternoon, as long as after lunch, if you didn't have anything to drink at lunch, you could go play on the shooting range, or
Nice.
you could go out and shoot trap. I would go shoot trap. But if
That
it
would
was
be
really,
tough.
if it was really, bad weather outside, then no, okay, go play in the shooting range. And one time they had a fully automatic assault gun, a true
Beautiful.
assault gun, that was down there. But quite a few other weapons, and you could get your practice in. I pulled out one of their rifles and practiced some of my long distance shooting with it. Not shooting any ammo, shooting with a laser. And laser on a target at 100 yards, but making it look like it was a 300-yard shot based off of what was projected on the screen in the simulator.
Now,
and a lot of practice for that.
Knowing Virginia as I do, just south of you, you should have the ample opportunity to shoot. Why do you go all the way out to Nebraska?
Part of it is where a lot of the people that I do that with, that's where they live.
Okay.
So
you couldn't find any friends close to home, huh?
They all know.
They all know them too well.
No, the people that I know well here, that's not a pastime that they were ever exposed to or understood or got engaged, got involved in. So that's one of the interesting things of having moved around growing up as much as I did is there's different groups of people, different groups of friends from different periods of time in my life, and they have different activities. And I got to play with all those activities.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, guys, I think it's about time we wrap up another show here.
Have we wasted all that time now? Really?
Man, we squandered it away. Yeah.
Wow.
We'll have to see what we can do at the beginning of this show, make it all nice and fun. I thought that was pretty bloody funny.
Yeah.
3, 2,
yeah.
1.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
So
silence.
Well, listen, you guys have a great holiday season. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and anything else. Happy Kwanzaa if you're doing that. Whatever else might be rolling rolling you down the road. But in speaking of roads, I guess there's only one thing I'll have to say. Don't drive like my brother.
Yeah, don't drive like my brother. See y'all. Happy holidays.
Have a happy holiday.
You have been listening to another episode of the Outliers Inn with your hosts, Joseph Paris and David Schneider. This program is produced by the Operational Excellence Society and sponsored by Zonatech Consulting Group International.